If you look at accident causation in the early 80s, it was very much about technical failures and not so much about the organizational causes of these technical failures or the human factor component in those technical failures. So of course we have machines failing, but in many cases it was due to lack of maintenance. Lack of maintenance is something you can control as a manager. So one of the interesting things that Tripod did was putting the manager back in the driver's seat of managing safety. So before Tripod, safety was in many organizations really seen as a responsibility of the safety department. And when we came up with the Tripod methodology, we could show that actually the main reason why people failed was not because they were malicious people who did intentionally bad things, but they were put into a situation where the probability of error was much higher. And the really big breakthrough was that many of these factors were under management control. So the whole idea shifted from the individual is to blame towards there is something in the organization that promotes the arrow going through the holes. So we don't talk about blame anymore, we talk about responsibility and we talk about opportunities to fix these systemic issues. So this was actually, in the late 80s, this was actually quite a revolution.
Virtually all the time, every incident I go to, people are doing the best that they can. It's that environment that they're working in which influences them on what they decide to do as the best thing. Oftentimes, life doesn't work out for them the way they're expecting it to work out, and there you have an incident.
And because Tripod is a structured methodology, you can do data analysis over a number of incidents, finding, let's say, the same type of behavioral aspects of the same type of barriers or controls which failed. But you do it with the intention to learn and not to blame.
The whole idea is that the arrow of causation suddenly pointed at people at higher levels in the organization was to some actually, well, it was a bit of a change. They had to get used to it. So we moved safety firmly back into the line.
If you look at the history of how, I guess, the oil and gas sector has evolved in response to incidents, it used to be that you could just find the technical issues. Now it's a little bit more difficult to find what was the cause of that incident, why did it happen. You need a much better process to first of all investigate, but also to communicate those bits afterwards so that you're not just keeping the learnings to a small number of investigators and possibly leadership, but you're actually sending it out across the companies, across different sectors, across the world.
So rather than focusing on the safety aspects, like we did in the early 80s, we've shifted focus to the way you run your business. So the side effect is that not only do you have less accidents, and accidents are costly things, also in terms of human costs. But what it really helps you to do is to optimize the way you run your operations. And if you look at it from a financial point of view, that the benefit you have from simply improving the way you run your organization vastly outruns the profits you have from simply preventing accidents. So we help organizations to become better at running their primary processes.